the tour? Yes. We have Zelda. In the middle is Kenny. And on the right is Biscuit. Now Zelda is a 14-year-old first-round draft horse. Very pretty young girl. Kenny, he's an 11-year-old Belgian draft horse. He's very handsome. Very round. By far has the nicest butt of my three horses. And Biscuit over here on the right. Very sculpted, handsome, chiseled guy. He's 19 years old. He's a Belgian draft horse, but I wouldn't call him old yet. See, Biscuit here is probably going to be working until his mid to late 20s, may even live to see his early 30s. Mid 30s, maybe. That would be pretty old for one of these guys. And so, they've been a team for 2 years now. Zelda and Biscuit have been working here. Biscuit's been here for like 10 years. Zelda's been here for 5 or 6. Kenny's been here for 4. I have also been here for 4 years. My 4th year. And after doing this for almost 4 years, I think I can definitely, with confidence, tell you guys that this job is the most fun I've had for minimum wage. I was very right now to see what happened. But I'm from Indiana. Do we have any other Hoosiers on board? Good for you guys. What about folks from Michigan? Anyone else care to share where they came from? Chicago. So to get this started, we are heading into the Catholic Cemetery. It's a beautiful day to be out here. This is one of my favorite parts of the island. It's always calm and quiet for obvious reasons. And so this cemetery was originally moved from downtown, the Catholic Cemetery. The city in 1865 decided they didn't want a cemetery greeting people off the boat. Tourism was really finally kicking it big out here, and so they dug up all the bodies in their caskets, brought them out here, and reburied them out here. Now, keep in mind, I think it's the best decision they made for the cemetery. Otherwise, it would be surrounded by thousands of people a day. And I don't think it'd be doing much to pay respects to these guys to have a bunch of people surrounding it all the time. We have graves that date. We have 8 graves that date back to 1831 out here. We have graves that date all the way up to 2018. It's still an open cemetery. Alright, so if you guys want to get buried out here, you absolutely could. It's probably going to cost you somewhere in the neighborhood of $15,000 to $20,000. Pretty expensive. I don't know exact prices this year. But they no longer require that you live on Mackinac to get buried. They used to require that you live here for 10 years or more. Nowadays, they're pretty much letting any putz walk off the street and get buried in the Catholic Cemetery. There's a pretty limited amount of space out here as well. See, it's not just a Catholic cemetery. I have no idea what's going on. I don't think there was a funeral. Maybe they're paying their respects. Anyways, we're going to take a right-hand turn because it's not just a Catholic cemetery. On the other side of the street, we have the Protestants separated by faith and by stone walls for the Protestant safety, of course. And there's a grave buried over there by the name of G. Menon Williams. We didn't have many Michiganders on board. He was a pretty well-known guy way back in the 50s and 60s. You can see his cross-shaped grave. He and his wife's cross-shaped grave over there on the left. Now, he was the longest-serving governor Michigan's ever had. He was also the owner of the Menon Soap Company. You may remember hearing his jingle, "By Men." That was the Menon Soap Company, which he owned, so they call him Soapy Williams. And of course, this is a soldier cemetery for those who served at Fort Mackinac. We got 108 American soldiers buried out there. Unfortunately, 69 of the 108 are still unknown to this day. It comes down to the fact that the wooden crosses they used got so weathered down over the years they couldn't read the names anymore. Well, Fort Mackinac was one of the first forts we owned as America, as a newly independent country. There were many records kept during the War of 1812 of the soldiers serving. Pretty newfound military. So in honor of these guys, we are one of 5 U.S. flags in the world ordered by the Commander-in-Chief himself to fly at half-staff year-round. There's also Arlington National Cemetery. It's nice to come out here and take a deep breath of fresh air, get away from the crowds and the lines. I find it very disappointing because despite 83% of Mackinac Island being state park, there's a lot of people that will never set foot outside of downtown on vacation. There's a lot of people that will. You guys and these guys, and I really like to, I think it's awesome you came out here with me on the tour. Otherwise, I wouldn't get paid every 2 weeks, so I really like to thank you. Okay, it used to be the biggest cave on Mackinac Island until it was demolished in the 70s. It was a 10,000-year-old limestone cave after all, and people could have gotten hurt or killed if that had collapsed at the wrong time. It had a 10-foot wide entrance. It fit, I've heard, up to maybe 20, 25 people in there. So it was a pretty big cave, the biggest on the island. But if that hurt or killed somebody, the blood would have been on the city's hands because they allowed people to go inside. They didn't do anything about it. So they demolished it and then put a no climbing fence around it, which is more of a suggestion than anything these days. And so why then is it called Slow Cave? Well, the name was coined by an Englishman named Alexander Henry. He was a British fur trader who sailed down from British Canada and was a great turtle. The island was once believed by the natives to be a great turtle risen out of the lake by their god Gitche Manitou. On the back of the turtle was on the island, and on the island the Anishinaabe would be born by the god Gitche Manitou. They've been coming here for thousands of years as their holiest and most sacred of lands. Of course, that was until the British kind of, never worried about being late. Now, also it's pretty convenient to stop here. It's a really nice view looking down at Fort Mackinac down there. It's a Revolutionary War era fort constructed by the British in 1780. Finished, in 1781. But it didn't really do much during the Revolutionary War, and they did end up giving it to the Americans in 1756. Then, a few years later, as our relationship with the British becomes more and more tense over the years, it culminates with us starting a war in 1812. Does anyone know what that war was called?
The War of 1812.
It was the War of 1812. And so the British sailed down from British Canada about a month after the war had started diplomatically and politically. They sailed down north from British Canada to Ste. Marie. They had 600 Native Americans, British soldiers, mercenaries, and Canadian militiamen. They sail down, they land on a spot 4 miles outside of downtown. They call it British Landing. So they sneak up the island. They surround the backside of the fort, which is the only side not facing a 150-foot cliff. They lug a cannon 3 miles up to the top of the hill on our left. It's the highest point of the island. And they send a message to Lieutenant Porter Hanks. It was the middle of the night. It was kind of foggy that night. Lieutenant Hanks is woken up by a British messenger saying, "Hey, we've got you guys completely surrounded. You either surrender or die." Very outmaneuvered. This was shocking to Lieutenant Hanks because he had no idea that there was a war going on. The messenger from Fort Detroit broke both of his legs in an accident. He never told him the war started yet. Lieutenant Hanks is wondering maybe they're bluffing. The British are wondering what's taking them so long. So they get the message through and clear. Kenny. They get the message through and clear. They take the cannon that they have on the highest point of the island, 320 feet above the lake, and they aim it just over Fort Mackinac. Bang! They fire a warning shot to Fort. Oh, these guys passed. They fire. We have 70.5 miles of trails out here. Footpaths, bike trails, horseback riding trails. You can even board your own personal horse on the island if you'd like to. We have an equestrian center. Anyways, lots of. If you're a nature person, then it's definitely for you. But if you're not, might not be that exciting out. You shouldn't expect to see a lot of wildlife. We're pretty limited to squirrels and chipmunks and snakes and weasels. We have a few foxes and coyotes, but very few of them. We also have very few deer on the island. That's one of the rarest sightings out here, because the deer have to sneak across the frozen lake to go in. They go back and forth across over what we call the ice bridge, which connects to St. Ignace, just one portion of the lake that freezes over. And so they go back and forth. And sometimes the ice melts in the spring and they're stuck here. But there's no hunting in Mackinac. There's no bears. There's no wolves. There are quite a few cougars downtown in the summer, but I really don't think the deer worry much about those. So what does that mean then? That you guys should worry about? Well, I would say you should definitely be on the lookout for poison ivy, because there's a lot of it on Mackinac, where we test to see if the brakes are really working. brakes happen to go out or they're not working, not all of you may make it down this hill. It's fine. There's plenty more where you guys came from. Just in case. Where anything happens, I think there's something you should know. I love you. So it's a hydraulic fluid braking system. The Carriage, as I mentioned earlier, is fiberglass, steel, and hard plastic. 35, maybe with me, 36 people. Give wrap full capacity. That, even when a horse goes nibble, it hurts. They got big teeth. But if you do get hurt, you get stepped on, bit, kicked, splashed, whatever, just remember that I work under the Equine Activity Liability Act. Basically states that since they're horses, you get hurt, it's not my fault, so just sit down and suck it up, okay? Now, my final thing here is that, so we got bathroom straight ahead of us, our truck will be over to the left. It says our truck right in front of us, very interesting. These wooden stairs right here, I don't know why they're going down the hill when there's stairs right next to them, but these stairs at Nicolay Watchtower, you're going to realize that you walked up 57 steps one way to see another view of the same lake and read a plaque about the first white guy to take a birthmark canoe through the Straits of Mackinac, John Nicolay. John Nicolay never set foot on the island according to his own journal, so historically it makes no sense to name anything after him, and I've just saved you 114 steps. Those are bathrooms right there. I do. Thank you. I know, that's Zelda you're talking about.
Bigyan mo kaya. Ayun na. Erin, please. Sige, camera. Please. Ay, malis. Camera? Dito ka, Daryl. Yeah. We don't see around the people. Daryl, dito. Yan. We're causing trouble. Ha? Nagre-reklamo sila? Oo. Ano sabi nila? May stuck na sila. Ganda ng tubig tayo. Gusto ko. Yes, I know. But I was Pin. Wave ka din. Ayaw din natin. Pakuha tayo. Dalawa. This time you go ahead. It's a nice view.
Hungry? I know it's around lunchtime. We also have the tea room operated by the Grand Hotel, a full restaurant right here in the fort. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, tickets can be purchased behind me at the white kiosk for $13 for an adult and $7.50 for a child. Well, that includes the fort, but also 5 historical downtown buildings on Market Street and the Mackinac Art Museum. So thank you for listening. I hope you'll come and join me. With that, I'll pass it back to your driver.
All right. Yeah, I guess not a chance to put the Fort Mackinac. One of them, go ahead. Fun on there. Too much fun. This is your only like quick walk to downtown.
Oh, okay.
But it'll take you about 3 minutes. I mean, it's real quick. Otherwise, you go back, change Carriage. It just takes like a half an hour to get you. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Well, yeah, watch out for bikes. They are crazy out here.
maglalakad tayo ng 3 minutes papunta sa hotel. We choose this path instead of going back to the 2-horse carriage again.
No, we don't need that. Sayang yung experience dito. Oo. Tama naman. Tin.